Alright, Jin. It's time to cook, but don't cook too much now. What's up, guys? Hello, Pencil here, and here we are to do a breakdown / live reaction and review to chapter 264 of Blue Loco, which is known as Death, Life. This is gonna be an interesting one. Obviously, last chapter was kind of crazy, especially if you're realistically, if you have any opinions on Kaiser, last chapter was absolutely insane. If you were an Isagi fan, you were tweaking out last chapter. If you were a Shido fan, you were crying your eyes out last chapter. Last chapter was absolutely crazy, and ending on a Kiora setup, I'm excited, yet I'm scared. You know, I'm one of the people who kind of is indifferent to Kiora. I've seen a lot of people really hyped about the character. I've seen some people who were hyped about the character, forgot about the character, and now hyped about the character again. I'm leaning towards the massively indifferent. Episode Nagi, while setting up an interesting, playstyle for him, I still didn't really care for the character. I'm way more invested in the Kaiser Isagi stuff, but I still am hyped to see what's about to go down. I saw not a lick of anything about this chapter, so let's see what's about to pop off. Editing me, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, you know what time it is. It's peak luck. It's peak every week. We're pre-drawn. This was going to be interesting. I think for those who are really excited to see that guy in the kitchen possibly become canon, this may be the chapter for y'all. Who knows? Once again, like I said, I'm mostly indifferent to Kiora. I don't dislike the character, but I also don't like the character. They're like my zero. So we always talk about turning a 0 into 1. Kyora's turned my 1 into a 0. I'm interested. Kaneshiro Sensei has flipped me on characters instantly before. Snuffy went from a character who I was mostly indifferent to, in fact I kind of didn't like because of his massive schnauzer, to one of my favorite characters in the entire series, and it's been 2 chapters. So it's not impossible. Kaneshiro Sensei has flipped me before, so let's see what happens with Kiora in Death, and Life. Let's take a look. Kiora Jin is always destined to stand at the boundary line. Oh, interesting. This calm guy quietly seeks an opening between the boundary lines. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Once again, we still haven't gotten, and I still think it's a waste. Fun fact, I do review episode Nagi as well on the channel. It's not as frequently covered as Blue Lock, obviously because the manga is less frequent, and I also tend to forget about it. I'll be completely honest for the episode Nagi fans. I just kind of forget the manga happens until I see something up and I'm like, oh sweet mother mercy, the manga. But with it being the case, we got a hint of Kiora. And he didn't really seem like a quiet guy who stands at the boundary line, but we just didn't get enough because the most recent chapter episode Nagi didn't cover anything of that. At all. So let's see. Stand at the boundary line. The first boundary was when Jin was in his mother. Okay. Wait. Jin backstory again? Okay, let's go. He looks just like, why does I think except even Yoichi to a degree. No, not really. I'll admit, Yoichi does not look like, outside of his hair color, he does not look like either of his parents for I guess maybe his hair kind of looks like his mom. But I swear, almost every Blue Lock character is a carbon copy of their mom. Hiyori, Shigiri, I think did we see Kunigami's mom? I don't think we've seen Kunigami's mom. But those are these only 2? Those may be the only 2. But I don't know, my brain, Hiyori, Shigiri, I feel like we've seen another. Even Bachiro kind of looks exactly like his mom. So I don't know. But to be fair, I'm also just a male version of my mom, so W representation, I guess? Let's see. Ooh, she suffered a serious illness and was told by doctors that her survival rate after giving birth was a 50 out of 100. Uh-oh! She's playing fighters right now. Got hit with a 50-50 mix. Let me not do that. I don't know. And the crazy thing is, I'm not a competitive player. I've never been to a tournament in my life, but I love fighting games. Is that weird? I will consume hours upon hours upon hours of FGC content, and I yet to have a single intention to actually go to a tournament. I'm nowhere near good at anything games I play. But for some reason, it always fits in. I've slipped fighting game terminology into my regular day-to-day life. Admittedly, it's common terminology 50-50 or a mix-up. But I'll say that with full fighting game intentions in my mind, even though I haven't touched fighters in a month, maybe more. To be fair, Slayer came out, and I'm trying to learn him because I like Slayer. But that aside, I don't know. But fighting games, for some reason, they're just on my mind. Lord Knight. Consistently consuming his videos. But let's see. However, Jin drew the change of life and was born into this world strongly. Oh, okay. Crazy. Is this the first baby we've seen Blue Lock? I think we may have seen a baby before, but this is like the first character we've seen birthed. Okay. Gotta show something, just having fun. Jin has siblings. Caught between a short-tempered older brother and a rowdy younger brother. Oh, he's small. He's small. I'm right, aren't I? It's me, right? I don't have older siblings, but I have been in the case where you're the intermediary point between two people. I understand that point. The Kiora household was constantly embroidered in sibling quarrels. As a small child, Jin always thought about which brother would be more advantageous to him. That's in life in general, though. Like, I do, like, I don't know. Once again, it depends on if I'm even lucky enough to get married. But when I have kids, I do want to, my wife is letting. Even the wife allows it. Because once again, it's all on her. Because I don't give birth. But I do want them to have siblings. Because I do think siblings are a fundamental part of growing up. I think you learn a lot about the world itself by having siblings. So, with that being the case, that's just something that you have to deal with in life in general. You're always going to be faced with choices between people, because we are a people society. It's basically, I'm not going to say impossible, but really, really hard to live in society entirely independently. You're always reliant on people, and you're always reliant on people in choosing which is the most advantageous based on the time period, the setting, what could come out of it. Like, sometimes siding with one person may be good for this scenario, but bad for another scenario, and vice versa. So siblings are something that'll teach you that a lot. Whether you're the oldest, whether you're the youngest, whether you're the middle child, it's a lot. But let's see. Whichever side I ally with will win. My presence determines the victor. This is Jin's fighting spirit and way of life. And even in Blue Lock, this nature bears its fangs. And Jin survived in the boundaries of battle and has found his way to this point. And now, destiny comes... Yeah, okay. Alright. Okay. So a lot of people are right. Jin, he's the flipping factor between Isagi and Kaiser. That makes sense. But you know what? I'm still so shocked then that he didn't take his chance. Like in Ubers. Like the fact that he sat down. I mean, that plays into his quiet guy motif. Once again, episode dog, you see him, he flips that on its head. But, like, that seems like the time. That's the choice. I guess maybe he was, like, currying Isagi's favor? But I guess maybe he just didn't want to work it. I don't know. That seems weird, though. Like, especially if you know that this is the tipping point. You always at least go for the opportunity to be the decider. Like, I've learned that in life, the hard way and the easy way. Like, being told and actually having to execute it. If you're given the opportunity, you at least always want to take it. Whether that be telling someone how you feel about them, whether that be taking an opportunity for work or an internship or something, you always want to take it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. If they say no, okay. But at least take the opportunity. You never want to be thinking about, oh, what if I did that? You would always go back on what if for anything in life. Like, I've done things in the past where I'm like, oh, what if I didn't do this? Or what if I did do that? But at least opportunity-wise, and now, especially as an older person, I always, like, try to make sure I do something. Because you never know. You never know. It's always better to do something than nothing. So I'm shocked that Kiora, someone who's so well-versed in being that weight, being that deciding factor, was willing to kind of just sit down and let that opportunity pass him by. I'm intrigued. Let's see. The first and last opportunity to participate. Isagi Yoichi or Michael Kaiser. Probably gonna choose Kaiser if I had hazard a guess. Because Isagi's already gotten so much support. I'd be shocked if Kiora joins. Let's see. Which side should he take to survive? That is not Kiora. No, okay, it looks up like him. Kiora Jin instinctively felt the moment of this choice to be either dead or alive. Honest, that's the... You know what? Before he chooses, let me try and put myself in Jin's position. If I could support somebody, who would I want to support in this scenario? Specifically with U20 in mind and the elimination game... Nice. But sorry, my brain completely left when I saw his number. But in terms of like picking wisely in this moment in particular, I honestly think the best play would be to work with Isagi. And you may be like, whoa, Pennsylvania, isn't that crazy? But think about it. Right now, Kiora isn't just trying to prove his worth to the world. He's also trying to prove his worth as a member of the U20 team. And since he has the 50-50 here, who would you rather support? Kaiser, who likely will never be on the same team as these Blue Lockers ever again. Once again, unless the manga goes in a completely different direction than what I'm expecting, which is, like, if the club arc is canon, like a lot of people seem to still think it is, then Bada bing, bada boom. I guess the club arc is canon. I'm thinking maybe that's gonna be like a post U20 thing. Maybe I'm still not too sure about the whole club offers thing. But with it being the case, right now Kyora's just trying to make sure he doesn't lose his spot in terms of joining the U20 team in Japan and being blacklisted from soccer. That's still a condition, I'm pretty sure. So right now, support Isagi because he's the representative of Blue Lock right now, and you look better supporting him. But at the same time, I could see supporting Kaiser in this case because you're shining. But that's the thing, you shine against the light of Isagi, and is that the smart move while you're still on his team? Like Baro did good shining against Isagi or consuming the light of Isagi because he was on the opposite team. He was the opposite striker. Of course, you want to shine against Isagi then because you're actively his op. But in Kyora's case right now, while you're a teammate, I think you want to support the team you're meant to rep for. Like, don't get me wrong, Raichi's making a good play, but Raichi already kind of proved himself. He had his moment against Snuffy, and that got him some value. Kyora's starting from scratch. You may just want to go full. You want to lay your cards down with the guy you're actually going to be working with. Getting chemistry and support with Kaiser right now is basically worthless. I hate to say it, but like, and while technically Isagi's going to be a completed Kaiser or a Kaiser reflection, it's clear the two are going to act fundamentally differently in one way or another. From Isagi's mix-ups in his two split volley to his playstyle. Sorry, I had to cough and take a sip there. I didn't want to ruin your ears, especially for my headphone users out there. I understand that pain. My apologies. But with it being the case, I don't think supporting Kaiser really gets Kiora anything in the long run. Because you aren't working with Kaiser past this game. Maybe if it was earlier, maybe if there was one more game after this, then maybe you support Kaiser. Because then you can show that you can do both. But if you're staking it, especially right now, the game is 1-1. There are only two more chances, two more goals on either side to prove yourself. I'd say prove yourself with the system that you're stuck with, rather than prove yourself with the system that you're against. But narratively, I think it'd be more interesting if he works with Kaiser. Because once again, I want to set up Kaiser as a longer-term antagonist. So, I don't know, let's see. Michael Kaiser, Isagi Yoichi. Okay, now the field is completely revolving around me. That's what I like. That's what I like. Yeah. Oh, man. It's good. It is good being an Isagi investor. For all my people who are not, like, I think everyone kind of gets like free Isagi stocks. Like, don't get me wrong, he's the MC. I feel like everyone, like, automatically, even if they don't know it, like, just by buying into a manga, you do get MC stocks. Like, it's just natural. But I feel like a lot of people sold some of their early starter Isagi stocks and didn't buy more. I feel like I bought a hefty chunk of Isagi stocks. I've been calling this narrative for a minute now. Ever since I started reviewing. I've been in this since, man, I wish I'd been in there since Barcha. And then, like, really try to long-term predict. Because really, by the time I started reviewing with Manchai, I think the trajectory of the arc was mostly obvious at that point. But still, as an Isagi investor who bought quite a hefty amount of Isagi stocks, I feel like my portfolio is going crazy right now. And, like, if we're even just talking about portfolios, the Kaiser portfolio, it's a bit shaky. But I still think it's doing solid. I feel like the only investments I've really fallen short on were, like, Shigiri? Like the Manshine portfolio. But even then, I didn't invest too heavy in that once I saw Nagi and Rare reverted. So I feel like my portfolio is diversified enough that the losses I took in the Manshine investments aren't necessarily going too crazy. And my Chigiri stocks are actually kind of doing not too bad. It really depends on if he scored that goal against Ubers. We still don't know about that. Like, that did not get clarified for some reason. But still, I don't know. I feel like my stocks are doing fine. But let's see. Actually, no. I think that did get clarified. I think it was Agi who scored, which is so random. But let's see. It's completely revolving around me. All the movements of my allies are centered on me, and even the enemy's vigilance is at its max. But taking advantage of that. How you gonna do that, big dog? How you gonna do that, big dog? Let's see, we got Kunigami, we got Nanase, we got Hiyori, we got Raichi shingly tweaking, and I believe that's on Tetsu. But taking advantage of that, Kaiser is starting to aim for the goal. Aiming for the goal on his own. Abandoning cooperation with Ness. Abandoning the cooperation with Ness he's been using up until now. He even wants to pass to the Blue Lock members for the sake of his goal. Oh, look at that predator eye. Don't flow, though. It's a wise decision to ride on the changed Kaiser for his evaluation like Raichi did. Yeah, it really is the gamble, right? And plus, Kaiser's including you. And any bit of inclusion, any time on the ball, any sort of support at all is still useful. And once again, I still think the difference between Kiora and Raichi is that Raichi has some stock. He's had a little bit of investment placed in him. He's in the top 23, I'm pretty sure. But Kiora, my boy, you got coin toss. Let's see. Now the Emperor's trying to invade my stronghold using that psychology. Yep. Use what you used to use. It's crazy, you know. I know a lot of people give flack to Kanashiro Sensei for his pacing, like the length of some of these games, but I think it's still very, very impressive, the story he's managed to structure and flip and make it really cyclical in a way when you think about it. From 100 chapters ago, from the start of this arc till now, seeing the whole cyclical journey, once you read it through, the Neo Egotist League is undeniable. But here's the thing, I guess it kind of, do you count the Neo Egotist League as one whole arc? Because, like, I guess technically you can, because it's all the Neo Egotist League, right? But I'd say each of the games is really their own individual arc. We were in Ubers for a year. And we're definitely going to be in PhD for a year. Bartra and Mantan were shorter, or at least they feel like they were shorter, but still, I feel like those still count as their own individual arcs. But as a sum total, the Neo Egotist League is just peak top-of-the-line writing. We're going to show Sensei. Let's see. Not bad. I'll absolutely crush him. Conversely, if I score here, your evaluation will plummet. Let's do it, Kaiser. But once again, why I'm doubling down on Isagi not getting that hat trick and I really want Kaiser to score, Isagi's slowly becoming Kaiser. And not just in the good ways. Obviously in the good ways in the sense that he's dominating the field, his valuation is going up, he's acting as the main character, he's using Metavision very, very well. But look at where his brain is going. Just like Yuki Maya claimed all the way back, right before Manshine, just as Yuki Maya claimed, dude, you're Kaiser. And Kaiser's you. Y'all both tickling toes. Like, y'all are exactly the same individual. Right now, Isagi's focused on not just beating Kaiser, but dropping his evaluation, removing his value, weakening, absolutely destroying him. Just like Kaiser was focused on absolutely destroying him. Now, of course, the script is flipped. Isagi has become something better, something greater, something to the point where Kaiser is forced to adapt and change. But the fact that that's happening, the fact that Isagi Yoichi is breaking away into that monstrous egoist that has always been there, deep in his core, it's good. It's fantastic character development, and I love it. But I feel like he still needs just a teeny tiny bit of humbling. Not humbling to the point where he loses this game, or even loses in a scoring match like Kaiser. I still think, at bare minimum, Isagi should get a brace at this point. I'm sorry, Kunigami fans. I've completely disinvested in him. That's another loss I took. I had Kunigami stocks invested in a completely different aspect. I did not see him becoming Defender of the Year. I saw him getting at least one good goal on Shido. Maybe that's still possible. Maybe I shouldn't have disinvested, but I don't know. My portfolio was taking a loss, so I pulled out of Kunigami stocks. I'm sorry. But that being the case, I think Isagi losing a goal to this Kaiser, losing a goal essentially to himself. That's what Kaiser's been reduced to. Kaiser's essentially been reduced to Isagi to a point. Like, this is basically Manshine Isagi all over again when you think about it. But with that being the case, a little teeny tiny bit of hum, which is Kaiser just getting that one sweet scrumdiddlyumptious goal. That's delicious. However, one thing, I mentioned this a while ago, I called it all way back. At like end of Manshine, I'm pretty sure, or at least end of Ubers. I know it was at least end of Ubers. Abandoning his cooperation with Ness. I've been telling y'all for a minute now that Ness is feeling the magic of Isagi. He's gonna have a choice. I'm thinking it's gonna be the final goal. He's gonna have a choice to pick between those two. And finally, all the bad treatment from Kaiser's gonna kick in. It's finally gonna ring in that hollow noggin of that boy. And he's gonna make that choice. It's gonna be instinctive too. I think it's legit gonna be exactly what happened to Baro. Where it wasn't really a conscious thought, but it's just the nature of the individual got overridden by the power and might of Isagi Gochi. And he's gonna pass to him. Mark my, I can't put money on it because I broke. But with that being the case, I'm putting it down there. I'm invested in that. It's bang, bang. If I had a card, I'd bang it. There we go. Well, let's see. Your awakening or my absolute monarchy. Boy, lost. Boy, he's lost in the side. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Isagi Yoichi. That man's become a monster. He's an animal. My absolute monarchy. Dog, can that? But that's what I'm talking about. Character development. Even if it isn't like purely positive. But then again, I think in the context of Blue Lock, it is mostly positive, but there's still some negative aspects of it. Once again, it's the balance of that control and that desire for control and that power versus execution of said power. The fact that Isagi is thinking like this, thinking in the case of a monarchy, control, the fact that he's now seeing himself, he already sort of danced around this concept, being a god of the field of sorts, but this is really diving into it, really showing the depths of how far that man has gone, how far he's lost himself, to a degree in his own hype. But let's see. Corona Ronse, my goat, my little shark boy. No, not that combo. I won't let you do it again. Tokimitsu, bro, are you actually gonna cook? Are you actually? Let's see. Out of the way! Out of the way! Meatball boss! I guess, I'll give Corona credit. He doesn't insult in the same way that a lot of Blue Lock characters do. He insults, but it's always more PG. Like, Isagi, especially like early translations, there's a reason Isagi got his reputation as like an animal way earlier on. But Corona, it's always like meatball, stupid head, there's some of the generics like princess. He doesn't really, he gets creative, but not creative in the way that Isagi gets creative, or Bachira will get creative, or Shigiri will get creative. Like it's adorable in its own way. Let's see. There it is. English. Focus, pencil. Focus. You can read. Opportunistic press. I know that's not Inase's voice. Opportunistic press! There we go. Let's see. Oh, my credit! Something about that gave me flashbacks. I forget what it's... There's some character in another anime that was screaming about their credit. I forget what it was. I can't remember the character's name or anything, or the anime it's from. But some character screaming about their credit. Tokimitsu just gave me flashbacks of that. I came in out of there! Nanase. We got allegations in this manga, Nanase. Don't feed into them allegations, Nanase. Do you know what else they call BL? It ain't just Blue Lock, my boy. You know what came out of what? But let's see. Look at I love how the vines reach out and are all targeting Nanase. Huh? Kaiser? I see it. This guy, he's not directly targeting me. Why would he? Once again, that's kind of the beauty. In fact, Isagi, you did this. You did this with Yukimaya. Using you as a centralizer, as a targeter, using the main star of the field to drag everyone's attention away, yeah. That's the best way to do it. And as people were pointing out, I think it was actually the previous video. When I made the Blue Lock discussion about the hat trick or not, people were pointing out the idea that technically some of the best strikers, or at least the best goal scorers, aren't always strikers. They're like midfielders or wingers. So like, it's entirely possible. Yeah, Isagi, you usurped the position. You're running this absolute monarchy, but now you're the center point. Everyone's focusing on you. So now there is no need to target you, because everyone else is already doing that. Now you target the weak people who are going to get in the way of you. It's a simple two-step process. You can read where the ball is going to go, and now he doesn't actually have to compete with you now that you're a threat. Oh, course. It's kind of like in Smash Brothers, right? If you're running 2v2s, who do you go for? Do you go for the better player, or do you go for the worst player? You go for the worst. Because even if the better player is a bigger threat in the long run, a 2v1 is always better than a 2v2. Sure, you could jump the better player, but even with the other player just existing, just being there, it can cause problems. Trust me, I know from first-hand experience. I've been that player. I've been the worst player, playing Robin and waiting for both the opponents to land and spamming Thoron. Yes, I probably don't deserve right, but still, I did it. I did it for the dubs. There was money on the line. But with that being the case, you always go for the weaker player. That's the best way to take advantage of something. Obviously, in one-on-one fighting games, you can't do that as often. But in whenever you're playing a team thing, yeah, you always go for the weak. Why ever target the strong? When the strong, especially if the strong is already getting targeted. Like, come on now. But let's see. I see it. I see it. It's always been. Sorry, the Sonic Unleashed. It occasionally takes over. But aiming at the flaws in others through me? If that's really the case, then the next target is, lend me a hand, Orange. Hey. You be respectful. You better call him by his name. But giving it to Kunigami? Oh, interesting. Kunigami, who you gonna feed, bro? Who you gonna feed? Who you gonna feed? Because you ain't feeding yourself, dog. What, you gotta hit a backflip? Is Kunigami about to score? Nah, they wouldn't do that. Kunigami? Me. Ooh, straight to bro. Shido, you're so okay. Here's the thing. I'll give Shido a pass because like I definitely, especially on the last video, I got on Shido's case, or if it was in the last video, it was the year before that, I got on Shido's case. In Shido's defense, Kunigami's like a brick wall that talks and moves and can score. I think even with how jacked and juicy I know a lot of my viewers are, I know a lot of y'all are 6 foot plus roided beasts without the roids. You're all natural, pure gains. I think even the best of y'all would struggle with Kunigami in just general physicality. And Shido, while he's fast and strong, he's not wildcard Kunigami fast and strong. So let me back off a little bit off Shido. But George, you gotta fight back, please. Let's see. Boom. Oh, he just passed it. Right back to Kaiser, getting past Choppa. Oh my. Oh, but it looks like Kunigami isn't happy about it. He's like, fine, I can't hold the ball myself. My dribbling ain't that good. Okay. How clever. Or rather, how cunning. Kunigami can't move freely now because he's burdened with Shido. Using that, he's forcing a post play 1-2. Yup. Flow plus Predator Eye. Kaiser, you cooking? Kaiser, the wrist. I thought this was supposed to be Kiora chapter, but now we're cooking on Kaiser. Accurately understanding what the situation of this English. Accurately understanding the situation of this team. He's manipulating other players' psychology. He's evolving. He's kind of going into not necessarily the protagonism that Isagi was invested in, but like the psychological aspect of protagonism. What are people doing and what can they not do with the current situation of the field? He isn't just evaluating their stats, he's evaluating how they are forced to think. And while metavision definitely can be outread and outplayed, especially by other metavision users or people who hard counter metavision, such as a Shido or such as a Baro, to certain degrees, there are just plays you have to make. Like, going back to the fighting game example. I'm in the corner. I have an assist. My opponent is super dashing at me. What am I supposed to do if I can read and react to the super dash? They're super dashing from full screen. I could just stand there and take it. I could just block, but I'm going to 2H. No matter what the scenario is. If I'm in fighters and my 2H isn't trash, and I know I can do big damage off this 2H, I got an assist, I got sparking, I know I can off this character if I really need to. I'm going to 2H. That is just basic. There's nothing else you can do in that scenario. That's what Kaiser's exploiting right now. There are just scenarios where no matter what, even if there are other options, like Shido, Kunigami could have kept the ball. But because he's with Shido, he knows he can't. Kaiser knows that and he's exploiting that. Just like you know I'm going 2H. So maybe, but wait, once you super dash and you're 2Hable, I mean, it depends. If you have an assist, and depending on the type of assist and how fast it comes out, like technically you can guard yourself to some degree. Like super dash was assist is a thing. But if you're full screen super dashing, you decided your fate. You're just hoping that I don't react in time. But with this, Kaiser, he's exploiting the fact that Kunigami ain't really got a choice. Let's see. He's willing to abandon everything and change for the sake of his own results. For sure, this guy is a world-type egoist. Is an egoist just like me. Yeah, okay, so they're finally realizing. They realize the overlap is there. They can't dodge it anymore. They can't avoid it anymore. They know the truth. They don't know the truth. They know the truth. Come on now. Come on. They know it. They know it. I can't wait for them to fully, properly acknowledge it. Unfortunately, it really becomes a question, though. Are these two going to properly work together before the end of this match? I want them to because I don't think we'll ever see them together again. At least not on the same team. We'll see them against each other. Undeniably. Kaiser's still a new Gen 11 player. He's gonna show up again. But on the same team, man, I don't know. Especially with the way PXG's been playing. I'm not gonna lie. Loki needs to come in and wake up Rin or something, or Shido needs to snap up or something, because right now, the cook ain't cooking. But let's see. A world-type egoist. I read you. Gosh darn it, English. I read you, you mediocre. One more move is all you need. I'll slaughter you. Oh, okay, Rin. Okay, Rin, talk that talk then. Are you gonna finally back it up? I was just talking smack about you. Go talk that talk. Ooh, okay, they both. They said, we do not care. We do not care about fouling you. Give me that foot. Here's that ball. Ball's in the air. All right, world's best. Luck has descended. Yori, okay, Yori. Cook a little bit then. Isagi, you better get the second goal? Let's resonate. Oh, okay. The immediate pass. But where's Kiora? Where's Kiora? I can see the scroll bar. I'm reaching the end of the chapter. Boom. Oh, the whiff? Oh, the whiff to Corona? Okay. This is interplanetary hotline. The ultimate triangle. Finisher. Oh, Kaiser. Oh, that's my son. That's my shark boy. Don't laugh or cry. I love you, Corona. I love you, Corona. Please. That's the thing, though. A big thing I'm worried about Corona in terms of longevity, and this kind of comes through Hiyori, too. Both of them, ironically enough. Once we get to the U20 arc, and we have Chigiri back, and you know, unless something happens to that boy's life, Chigiri is going to be a mainstay. Chigiri is not falling off the top 23, and he is faster than Corona. And he can perform the exact same role if he really needs to. I don't know. Hiyori is just Itoshi Sei, right? What happens when we actually have Itoshi Sei playing for the U20 team? Because we know that's happening. There's no reason for it to not happen. Itoshi Sei is still U20. He's going to play for the team. That's gonna be a thing. So what's gonna happen to those two? Are they just gonna become subs? I'm so scared because at least for Hiyori, a lot of this arc has been about him. But even Corona, I'm very worried for my baby boy. Let's see, triple ad lib. Oh, okay. Look who finally decided to wake back up. Welcome back. Oh, and he's got the unique I low-key forgot he was on the field. Gosh darn it. Did you see anywhere earlier in this chapter? Hold on, let me see. Is that him right there? Okay, that's him. I think that's him right there. Because that's Isagi. Alright, so has he been on Isagi's tail this entire chapter? I just haven't noticed. Hold on, let me see. Let me look. It's hard to tell. There's a lot of white backgrounds. No. Okay, we don't see enough of him. But technically he is there. Typically Kanashiro Sensei and Amora Sensei are very good at planting characters early in a chapter if they're going to pull something like this, and you just got to look back for them. But yeah, there's just not enough angles for us to see. Yep, and there's the Kiora backstory. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll take it though. I'm happy Charles is still in the game. Big G definitely needs it. But darn, the Imps super arrival. Are you surprised or annoyed? I'm surprised and I'm happy, Charles. Welcome back, bro. Welcome back. It's good to see you, dog. Especially, please keep the unique metavision. I know it's literally so simple. It is just an incomplete metavision. But it adds so much more character to bro. I'm happy. And we ain't even got no emojis peak, so it's just gas. Hallelujah. But let's see. Ball's in the air, though. He ain't trap it. Isn't this kid supposed to be unmotivated? You see? That's the mix-up in the mix. It's always the unmotivated kids you gotta worry about. Or the unmotivated people. They will randomly show up out of nowhere and go absolutely insane. Quick little story. I know we're right at the end of the chat. There was one person way back when in high school gym that never did anything. They stood there. So they did the bare minimum. They walked the mile. Or they would, if the ball arrived at their feet, they would kick it once and then, stand there for the rest of the class. That's fine. I obviously get it. If you don't want to do gym, you don't want to do gym. One day, this individual went insane. We were playing volleyball. They were short. They absolutely woke up out of nowhere and body bagged us. And by us, I mean, it was literally a couple, don't get me wrong, I wasn't the best at volleyball, but still, I played, I was in motion, I was active. They body bagged me. They spiked on me. I didn't know they could jump that high. For some reason, they just went crazy that day. And ever since, there was random that could be, you know what, I'll tell you the story time more in depth. They don't watch these videos. I still know who they are, but I don't think they even know the channel exists. But they were an animal, a beast, whatever they felt like it. But usually they just chilled. So it's not impossible to get mixed up by someone who claims they ain't trying. Let's see. It's not over yet, Kaiser. I'm here. Oh no! Okay, Kiora. Dog, I thought it was supposed to be your chapter, but you disappeared. But he's still here again. The chaos that rolled in falls under the loyal dog. The loyalty that desires the Emperor, Kaiser, is unwavering as always. Oh no! What is he about to cook? I don't know. I'm scared. Is it Kaiser goal time? Awaken nest time? Oh, those eyes aren't flow state. But we shall see what we shall see. Yes, the chapter's worthy. If not just for the plain insanity of it. Like, obviously, there's a lot of emotion in this chapter, from all the different interceptions, to the passes of the ball, to the Kaiser manipulation. But really, I like the little mention of Kiora at the start, and I thought this was going to be his chapter. But the main thing I love about this, not only have Kaiser and Isagi's roles flipped, but at least, just as Kaiser's fully acknowledged Isagi as a massive part of his development, Isagi is finally realizing that he and Kaiser just aren't that different. Fundamentally, those two are aligned in ways that neither of them may like, but are still true. And ultimately, Isagi's realizing this, even if it's just in a minor way, or still a major way, that they share the same type of ego. That's Isagi slowly but surely realizing that he and Kaiser aren't so different, which may work in his favor. You see them puzzle pieces start breaking off. He's learning. He's going to adapt and break himself down again. So overall, I'm super duper excited. However, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave shatter point. Shatter, as in like shatter when you break something. Point, as in like point, in the comment section down below. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to hit that little notification bell so you do not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as count them, $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You can also now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include the live reaction to the very next chapter of every other series I review, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, I do happen to have a Ko-Fi link down below where you can drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any support at all is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members who currently plays Greyhound, Akids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, King Sukuna, NMA, Real Rare, Paris Arnold, G Prosper, and Red Wolf 4765. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons, Steron, Sean, Sammy, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, and A+A. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 patrons, Autumn Mornings Lazo and Fine. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha and Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Metal Solid Crisis, Joaquin Munoz, and Joaquin Munoz, along with Idemokami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.